The only thing that bothers me more than a handgun without a holster, and it's a rifle without a sling. Those items are actually designed to keep the firearm attached to your body so that you can be hands-free. And whether you're traversing a ridge line or you're crossing a creek, keeping your hands free is very important. That's why I'm going to go over one of the products that we have with Wilson Equipment, and it might actually change the way you look at slings. My name is Brian, and today I'm going to be going over one of the products that we have to offer, and that's going to be the PHS, or the padded hunting sling. But I'm actually not here to tell you why or why not this sling is for you. I'm going to tell you my experience with slings and how it led me to the creation of the PHS. So I've got a couple offerings here. I've actually got 4 in total, minus the PHS. And we're going to go over how each one stacks up, and then we'll compare it to the PHS and we'll let you decide. So the first one I have is going to be this old, it's actually like a real tree kind of camo. It looks like a polyester sling. It's like an inch and a half wide. It's kind of complicated. It's got a bunch of sections, and you kind of have to like weave them through each other. It's not padded. It doesn't have any type of grip or anything like that. And it actually comes in at 6.2 ounces. And I know what you're asking. Why does weight really affect a whole lot? When you're talking like 6.2 ounces. Well, I mean, in this day and age, we're talking, firearms like this one, where you've got a scope, a bipod, and a suppressor on it. And when you're adding a sling with it, which you should be, you don't want to add a whole lot of extra weight. The next sling we're going to go over is actually one of my favorites. This sling is, I believe, it's by Quake. It's like an inch wide, but it has like this injected molded, like a rubber. It's not padded really. I mean, it is, you can kind of squeeze it, but as you can see, it's not really wide. But it is kind of grippy. So it does kind of grip your garment. The slider is, I mean, you can kind of slide. I mean, it holds on pretty well. It's like a one-handed kind of slider. Locking swivels, of course. And yeah, I've been using this one for a couple hunt trips. So I really like it. It comes in at 4.6 ounces. So one thing you'll see with these slings is, in order to be comfortable, you're either going to be wide or you're going to be padded. So the next sling is actually the wide version. This is the other one's big brother, and it has it's the same construction pretty much, except for this area. This padded area is kind of, looks like at the top, it might be a little over 2 inches wide. It still has the same kind of that rubber molded stuff. And it actually weighs the most. It weighs almost 7 ounces, like 6.9 ounces. So it does have the anti-slip, and it's somewhat comfortable, but it does weigh a little extra. It weighs almost, like I said, almost 7 ounces. And this one here is for all you old folks. This is actually something I had to pull way in the back of the safe. This is an old, like a real tree bark, something I think my dad gave me. It doesn't have much of an adjuster. It's just like the single bar slider, and the swivels, they're not even locking. They're just old push button style. Yeah, it has. It looks like it's polyester. All these are polyester. They appear, and it has, this one actually has like a I don't know if it's a Cordura or some kind of nylon material, but it's padded. It's pretty thick, pretty comfortable. It's like 2-ish inches wide, maybe a little over. This one actually at one time had a stripe down the middle that was like 4 grip, but as you can see, it really doesn't grip a whole lot anymore. But this one is actually the lighter of the ones. This one comes in at 4.5 ounces. And before I get to the PHS, one of the things that, actually there's 2 things that I want to go over that will make a sling uncomfortable. The first sling that I really like to steer people away from is a sling that stretches. And so if you grab it, from each end and you pull it and it stretches, what that does is, as you walk, the gun bounces on your shoulder, and you get that positive and negative like weight. So if your gun weighs 10 pounds and you take a step, you're feeling that that added weight, and then the weight comes off. And as you walk, that gun is actually stretching the whole time. So even though the sling is comfortable, um, it doesn't help you. It still will fatigue your shoulder. And I actually had one. It was like a neoprene. It was like 2 inches wide, and you can stretch it like really far. And it was hard on the shoulder. the the second type of sling, actually the second type of thing that will wear you out is, and we all, I don't know if we all do it. I'll just say we all do it. When you throw the gun over your shoulder, you'll actually raise your shoulder a little bit. And I think unknowingly we do that because there's something there. But we do it so that that our shoulder angle is more neutral and the sling doesn't want to slip. And as you can see with like guns like this, when you put a suppressor, the gun gets very muzzle heavy. So, the gun will want to roll back, or it'll want to, slide off your shoulder. So just by us raising our shoulder up a little bit, it will fatigue you more, in that area. So that leads us to the PHS. And the PHS takes, for me, it works in all those little areas. And right now we'll go over those. So as you see, like I said, a padded and a wide sling is a comfortable sling. So this one is 2 inches wide, and it is padded. It has a real thin closed cell foam inside. It is made of 173/37 mil-spec nylon, and even actually both sections are, the adjustable section and the padded section. And with this one actually has a locking slider. So you open it, you slide it down, you lock it in place, and it stays. One of the things that really helps with the fatigue on your shoulder, I actually added our logo here, and it's made of a silicone textile adhesive. And it's the same kind of adhesive that you find like around athletic wear, whether it be like a knee brace or sometimes your pants will have that like silicone liner in it. This is the same material. And that is there to help mitigate that rifle roll, whether you're, traveling through the woods or you have a suppressor on the end of your gun. So how does it stack up as far as weight? Well, we actually beat all of the other slings coming in at right around 3.8 ounces. So not only is it, in my opinion, a better construction, it weighs less. So for me, I have a well-constructed sling. And by the way, all the components are made in the USA. It's wide, it's padded, so it's comfortable. And it has a grip on the inside to mitigate the rifle roll. And it's lightweight. So that is how the PHS works for me and how it kind of stacks up with all these other slings. With that being said, get equipped, get out there, and get good. See you next time.